make sure you're not checking out. Okay, so we're gonna go backwards. They're telling you, hey, I need this triangle to be AAS. Right now it's not AAS. Right now all we have is A and S. And they're saying to you, what would you have to know to make it so that this is AAS? Like make this triangle AAS. So let me show you like a wrong way to do it. If I said, this is my wrong answer. Well, if I knew K, then I'd have AAS. But that's wrong. Is this AAS or is this ASA? It's ASA because that's like right in the middle of the two A's, right? But if I knew this angle, now do I have AAS? So you got your two angles kind of on one side and your sides across from them. You got two angles here and our sides across from them. So this is what I would need to know. If I knew this, I could then say it's AAS. And I would need to know that these two things are the same. So my answer is going to be, well, I would need to know that angle I is congruent. So what? What's the like version of angle I in the other triangle? B. So if you did that, you would have AAS and match. Question on that one? Is where things went kind of haywire. Number two, they're telling you to make this side angle side, but what do you have to add in to make a side angle side? Well, first of all, we know that's true, and that's not us adding anything in. That's just like true. Vertical angles are always equal. That's just the truth. So I didn't add anything yet. But now I'm going to add something to make this turn into side angle side. Well, in side angle side, you want your two sides and then the angle squeezed right in the middle of it. So you got your two sides and then right where my palms come together, that's the angle. So side angle side, I want to be able to say those two. So can you see that if I had that side, it would be side angle side? And then what's the version of that side in this triangle? It's just an angle. So if I'm going to say side ED, that's this guy here, is congruent to what? What's the side in the other triangle that would have to match? AD or TK, whichever way you want to say it. That guy and that guy would be the same. And then if that's true, I have two sides and the angle right in between them. So two sides and the angle right in between them. Question on 2. All right, 3 is a little different volume. So I wonder, let's come back to it. I'm not sure we're ready. Let's look at 4. We're going to come back. We're going to do 3. So they're saying, hey, we need this to look like SAS. What would I need to put in there to make that SAS? Give me a side. Look at the bottom chart. Give me a side. I know those are true. So I have an angle. And I need it to say SAS. Well, if I put the S here, what would it say? It would say SSA or ASS, right? That's not one of them. What if I put the S here? What would it say? Then it would say SAS. So this is the side I want. So I'm saying I need WX to match up with what? What's the version of WX in the other triangle? FW or WF. I don't care about the order. Because if I had that side, now I have side angle side here. If I do that side, I have side angle side up there. Again, the angle's in between the two sides. The angle is So the angles in between the S's, the angles in between the S's. Give me thumbs right now. Up, down, sideways, how we doing? Okay, so let me try 3. 3's working. Got a little trick here. So they're saying AAS. Well, up here I have an angle. Down here I have an angle. So those are 2 separate triangles, right? And then I know something else that they didn't really tell me, but it's got to be true. What else do I have? I've got a side, right? Because this side's in both triangles. So I've got a side. Well, I need AAS. AAS is the 2 angles are like across from the side. Hold on. ASA, the side goes in the middle. AAS, which is what we're doing here, the side does not go in the middle. It goes like off somewhere else. So if I put an A right there, let's say, does that make AAS or is that ASA? Is the S in between the A's? It's not. S is not in between the A's. It's not angle side angle. The A's are next to each other. So this is what you would need, and that works. But here's the hard question. What's the corresponding angle in the other triangle? You can't say J. This is where people got stuck. Because if you tell me J, just back up a second. You tell me, hey, look at angle J. How do I know if it's that one or not? You know what I'm saying? So this is why we learned the name of it with 3 letters. Because you can't just tell me angle J. So there's 2 things going on here. One is do we understand that that's what would make AA? Okay. The second thing is how do we write that? And again, you can't just tell me J because that could be either one of those, or it could be the combination. So I'm going to use the 3-letter thing. So I'm going to go H, J, I. So angle H, J, I. Remember, the corner angle has to be in the middle. And the corner letter has to be in the middle. And then just think in your head, what would the same version of that be in the other triangle? We're saying, well, yeah. So you can either call it QJI or QJI or IJQ. The J has to go with that. Does that make sense to you? So I think people earlier were okay with okay, that's the angle I need, and then just got stuck because it was when do I need to do this and when do I not? Well, let's take a look at that. So look number 6. I'm not even gonna do the problem. I just want to look at it. If I wanted to leave this angle right here, could I call it angle H? How many agree with you? Could I call this angle H? Not, right? Because there's 2 angles. Can I call that angle W? Yeah, just one there. So that's how you know when you're supposed to call one letter versus call it. So let's do side, side, side. So I've got side there. I know that is a shared side. I'm just looking at this triangle. I got 2 sides. Well, if I need side, 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 what else do I need? The other side. The side I need is GH. What's the version of GH in the other direction? FW or WF, whichever you want to say. So what you're being asked is what would you need to make SSX? Or what would you need to make SAX? Give me thumbs again. Okay. I'm going to do 2 more, just because I feel like I should. Number 7, side angle slide. Side, oh my god, I'm just going to look at this triangle. Got side there, and I know this angle, even though it doesn't say it, I know vertical angles are always true. So I have SA. I'm supposed to have SAS. So you can think about it this way too. I have an A and I have an S. So I'm going to need another side somewhere. I already have those 2. I need a side. So my choices are, do I put the side here? Side here. If I put it here, we want the A to be sandwiched directly between the 2 sides. Is that A sandwiched directly between the 2 sides? is. That is SAS. And so what I did was add this, which is BW. And then you've got to look at the other triangle and say, okay, well, that's an S, that's an A, and what would be the sign that matched up? You have to go SAS, so it has to be this one, W. Wait, you do a side, you have a little more. Question on the sun. Right, one more for me. Number 8. Just get into it. Remember, if I had to tell you this angle, I can't call it angle B. But if I tell you that angle, I can call it. They want side angle side. So I've got that side because it's in common. I've got that angle. I've got side angle. So think about that way again if you want. So I've got a side and an angle. So what do I need? I need another side. It's like, where does it go? Well, if I put it there, that's booty, right? A is not between. If you read through those, it's ASS. If I put it here, now I've got the angle sandwiched in between the two sides. So what I did was put HI, and then what would be the version of HI in the other triangle? HK or KH, whichever you want. That would give you side angle side in that triangle. Why it's congruent to hump. Are there questions for me, like in general? Go ahead. I'll walk around and help individually if you have questions. I'll put the answers up, check them, submit. You guys know the